Good afternoon and welcome to the FX Daily Roundup. And we're seeing a fairly quiet start to the week. We do have ECB later on this week, and obviously we're still going and waiting on these headlines or announcements regarding a potential trade deal. I don't know how long this is going to continue to go on and drag out. We are seeing the euro kind of holding steady at these lower levels. We did have based on or after post NFP data, obviously we saw a pretty good little sell-off here in the euro. Actually, like I said, we had come right here into some support. We actually, our support on Friday was 10.58, but the euro had gotten as low as 10.39. And what we're looking at here on the euro, on our bias chart support today, is right here at 10.20. We were talking about this earlier this morning. Not sure if it's going to go and get here today, but that's going to be the key support level here. We're certainly the euro's on the defensive, but at the same token, looking here at the cash dollar index, it was a bit of a disappointment for those that are bullish considering the non-farm payroll figures that we did get, including upside revisions. So for those that were just trying to, poo-poo the numbers, saying, hey, look, it's just the GM strike, be an offset. Well, we did get a strong number and also upside revision. So you would think we would have been able to get above that key resistance of 97.89, and we simply weren't able to do it. So the outlook still remains for a move that we've been talking about for over a week, which is a move down to 97.20. So that still remains. The only thing that's going to offset that is going to be a daily close above 97.89. We're still looking for a move down to 97.20, which inversely would allow for the euro dollar to go and move higher. That being said, the euro isn't going to get, we have a resistance for today at 11.03. It seems like a little bit of a ways off considering the tighter range that we're in. But the point is that, any moves up here to, let's say, 10.80, 10.85, 10.90, they really don't mean anything. I mean, we just might just be bouncing around here, a whole bunch of nothing, and then we slip down here to 10.20. So the key levels on the euro is going to be 10.20 on the downside, which is our bias chart support, and 11.03 on the upside here. Taking a look at the peso, we have gone and seen this gone and given up its gains. We mentioned this in the webinar earlier this morning. You can see here that we've come back and revisited that major pivot that's been in place since April. Look at that 1923.6. You can see the significance of that and how we've, for a while we were trapped below that. We simply couldn't get above it. We get above it. We test back on the backside. We make another run up here, but we've been sliding backwards. We have 1923.6 as the pivot with our support today. Bias chart support today is 19.18. We can slip a little bit further. We'll see, especially if we trigger some stops below this 1923.6. Taking a look at the cable. We did go in and see new highs today. Now in the cable, what we're actually looking for is you can see this range. We've talked about it over the last week or so, how we've, hit this upside, the huge 29.80 pivot. You can see how significant that pivot's been in here. And we hit that pivot and we've actually challenged it on 3 different occasions, finally getting through on the 4th occasion. So we're actually looking for a move up here to 32.42. Right here with confluence in here with a resistance level at 32.65. Now 32.08 was our intermediate target, and we're not that far away. We're actually pretty close, right here, struggling with the 50%. But the way we came up with the 32.42, and you can see right here, is we've just basically taken this line, which is the length of this range that we had here, that's been in place for over 3 weeks, and extended that range out, projected it out, and that gives us 32.42, and then we got the resistance level at 32.65. Now, 32.8 was our intermediate, or it has been our intermediate target, but obviously in some good news, we'll be looking for the market probably to pause around that 32.42 to 32.65 area. But today's bias chart resistance is 32.08. I'll see if we can move that. If we can go on and get a little bit higher, but right now the market started out on a fairly quiet start to the week, not a whole lot of activity. Taking a look at the dollar CAD, we saw a nice rebound here on Friday with that jobs data. Not only jobs data from the U.S. but also Canadian jobs, which came in much weaker. Did allow this market to challenge, but it did run out of gas right before this 32.79. You can see the touches coming across here. Resistance is actually going to be 33.03. A daily close above 33.09 would allow this market to make another leg higher. But once again, the markets are relatively quiet, so we'll see where they come up from here. And let's go and move on here to the dollar yen. And same here. Everything else is relatively quiet. Remember last week, not last Friday, but the Friday before when we closed above the pivot and we kind of hung around there and we said, hey, look, a daily close below that pivot of 927 would target a move to 851. And we got that, and then we kind of moved about here. We haven't been able to do anything or get beyond 109. Our bias chart resistance today is actually 887. We're looking for support at 828 with additional support at 805. Everything is relatively quiet on the start of a Monday, which quite often you do see Mondays a bit quiet after you see non-farm payrolls. And we're obviously got issues with not only awaiting this news. It keeps dragging out and dragging out and dragging out with this China deal. Now there is I saw some coming out about the White House. A spokesman was saying they're very, very close to the USMCA deal, which could be done as early as tomorrow. That'll have some positive effect, but certainly isn't what everybody's looking for, which is the China news deal. Obviously, December 15th is going to be a big day as far as the potential for these tariffs to go into place. Taking a look here in the equities markets, we're still holding up close up here to these levels. We had already had a fairly extended run after that key support here at 30.74, and actually much further than I would have thought. I would have thought we talked about the significance of 30, 23, 30, and 28, and the market had struggled there. But once we got above that on Friday, I thought we'd be looking to tire out around the mid 3130s. We've actually pushed higher. We're on a very quiet day, but like I said, we're still holding up relatively firm in these markets. And taking a look here with gold, gold still remains a bit under pressure. That being said, it has held up relatively well here. If you look at this, key support right now is going to be 1454. Right now when we're looking here on the spot here coming in at 1454 is going to be key support right there. You can see that. But these markets are basically in a holding phase until we can get something resolved. We do have ECB later on this week. Maybe that'll hopefully kickstart us, but actually these markets are just stuck until we can get some resolution or get past either Brexit. I think Blake mentioned on the week ahead video, but it's going to be Brexit, ECB, and also this, China-U.S. news. Whether what might start is the December 15th date when they're supposed to impose the tariffs. But my thought is they're just going to kick the can down the road and extend the tariffs again. And so we're basically just stuck in a holding phase until we see how this thing goes and plays out as these markets stay relatively quiet. We did see the bonds come off, quite a bit. They've rebounded, but as the SPOOs started to go on and make a move up to that 3148-ish area, we saw the bonds come off. And then as we pull back, we saw a little bit of a rally, but it's given up that rally. So we're just in very, very quiet markets. Even the crude oil you can see here is trading quiet also. So just quiet all the way across the board at this time. But other than that, it's not really a whole lot, especially for a Monday here. as mentioned, a quiet start to the week. And there we go. I was trying to get into the cross rates. And we're just quiet. That's what I'm saying. We're just not seeing a whole lot of movement. Open this. The one pair that has an interesting look here is going to be the pound versus the odd. We have come up here to the 127% extension here, which is 92.48, and that actually is confluencing here with this level, a big level, 92.58. So we're turning out, so we might be able to see a bit of a pause there, but we shall see. That's all that we've got for today on a very, very quiet Monday. Thanks for joining us here on the FX Daily Roundup.